All right, buckle up because we are diving into some serious family drama this time.
It's going to be good.
And no, I'm not talking about your crazy uncle at the last family reunion. We're talking about Jacob,
Grandson of Abraham, son of Isaac.
the guy who tricked his own brother out of his inheritance.
Definitely a memorable character.
So we find Jacob working for his father-in-law, Laban, right? But things aren't exactly peachy. Genesis 31 opens with this palpable tension. You can practically hear Laban's sons whispering behind Jacob's back, convinced he's about to make off with the family fortune.
And they had good reason to think so.
Oh, yeah.
The text even points out that Laban's whole attitude towards Jacob had changed. It says it wasn't friendly anymore. Not a good sign.
And that's when Jacob gets a message from, you guessed it, God. Time to pack up and head back home. You'd think after that whole ladder to heaven dream, Jacob would be used to this divine intervention thing by now, but...
Well, this wasn't just a weekend trip to visit mom and dad.
Oh, this was big. Going back home meant facing his past.
A past that involved a brother he tricked and a father he deceived.
Talk about an awkward family reunion. So Jacob tells his wives, Rachel and Leah, it's time to go. Grab the kids, pack your bags, we're out of here.
And you know what's interesting? Rachel and Leah weren't exactly heartbroken to be leaving dear old dad behind.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Why were they so eager to get out of there?
Let's just say they had their own issues with Laban. To put it bluntly, they were treated more like bargaining chips than beloved daughters. Yeah, this escape, this wasn't just about Jacob. It was their chance to break free from a toxic family, too.
So in the dead of night, they make a run for it. Genesis 31 really paints a dramatic picture. Livestock, kids, all their stuff.
And don't forget the most important part, all of Laban's wealth.
It's like an action movie. Or maybe a heist film.
Except back then, this wasn't a joke. We're not talking about packing up the minivan and hitting the open road.
This was serious business.
Running away with your daughters and your father-in-law's property, that was a huge offense. They were putting everything on the line.
And if that wasn't wild enough, remember Rachel.
Was she hiding the good silver, too?
That's nothing. She decides to grab her father's household idols on the way out.
Wait, what?
I'm not making this up. She swiped the idols.
Okay, now that changes everything. We'll get into the why later, but stealing those idols, that wasn't just taking a souvenir.
What was it then?
That, my friend, was a power move.
So Rachel's got these idols. They're sneaking off in the night. I mean, Laban's not just going to let him walk away with this.
Oh, no. Laban was furious, absolutely fuming. He rounds up his guys, jumps up, and he takes off after them.
I don't blame him, to be honest. If my daughter and son-in-law ran off with half my stuff, I'd be pretty upset too. But this wasn't just about stolen furniture, right?
No way. This goes so much deeper. We're talking serious cultural context here.
Okay, so what do you mean?
Laban literally cries out that Jacob's taken his daughters as captives of the sword. To us, yeah, it sounds a little over the top.
Just a tad dramatic.
But back then, this was about honor, about social standing, running off with your daughters like that. It was a huge insult, a real slap in the face.
Hold on, though. Didn't God literally tell Jacob to go home?
He did.
And guess what happens?
Let me guess. God steps in again.
Bingo! God appears to Laban in a dream and tells him to back off. Don't harm Jacob, he says. Like, what's with all this divine intervention in Jacob's life?
It's a constant theme with this guy, isn't it? But it really makes you think.
It does.
Here's Jacob, a guy who, let's be real, has made some seriously questionable choices in the past.
That's putting it lightly.
But then again, God clearly has big plans for him. It makes you wonder about redemption, about second chances.
So Laban finally catches up to them. Talk about an awkward encounter.
Can you imagine?
They have this tense standoff. Laban's accusing Jacob, saying he stole his daughters, stole his gods.
And Jacob, cool as a cucumber.
He was surprisingly chill about the whole thing.
He denies stealing anything, and get this. He challenges Laban to find the missing idols.
He didn't.
Oh, he did. Jacob says that whoever has those idols, well, they're as good as dead.
Whoa. Time out. Jacob knows Rachel has those idols stashed away. What's he doing? This isn't just a friendly bet anymore. Things just get real.
You said it. This highlights just how important those idols really were. They weren't just pretty statues. They represented something deeper, something powerful.
So we've got Laban tearing through the camp, turning everything upside down, searching for those idols. And they're nowhere to be found. What do you think's going through Rachel's mind during all this? She's sitting there with those idols, watching her father rip apart her tent.
That's got to be stressful.
What a scene.
Talk about being caught between a rock and a hard place. And when Laban finally confronts Rachel, she's just like, oh, hey, Dad, Sorry, can't get up right now. It's, the way of women is upon me.
The way of dot what now? Okay, had to look that one up. Let's just say Rachel knew how to use a delicate situation to her advantage.
Exactly. She played on those social customs to avoid suspicion. It's easy to forget that even in these ancient stories, women were forces to be reckoned with. They knew how to navigate complex situations, often using those societal expectations to their advantage.
Clever girl. But still, those idols are at the heart of all this. What was the big deal with them?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's one we're going to unpack as we reveal the true significance of this divine heist. Stay tuned.
So we've got Laban, fuming, ready to fight, thinks Jacob's totally ripped him off.
You'd think this would be the start of like an epic generations-long family feud, right?
Right? Straight out of a movie.
But then they make peace. Can you believe that?
Well, when you think about it, neither of them was in a great spot, were they? Stuck out there in the middle of nowhere.
And back then, it's not like you could just call AAA.
Exactly. Alliances were everything. All-out war, it would have been a loss for everyone.
So instead of duking it out, they make a pact. But this wasn't some casual handshake deal, was it? Oh no. This is the ancient world equivalent of signing a contract in triplicate. They built a cairn,
Hold on, a what?
A cairn. A big old pile of rocks. A physical reminder of their agreement. See this giant heap of stones? We're serious.
Talk about a solid contract.
And there's more. Gets better. They both give the cairn a name.
Okay, this I gotta hear.
Laban calls it, get this, Jigar Sahadutha. That's
I
Aramaic.
was gonna say, that's a mouthful.
And Jacob. He calls it Galeed, Hebrew.
Two totally different languages.
But guess what? They both mean the same thing.
No way. What do they mean?
Heap of witness. It's like you're saying, okay, God, you see this pile of rocks, we're promising to keep our word.
It's a powerful image, isn't it? You can practically feel how much oaths and covenants meant back then.
Absolutely. And for Jacob, this whole name thing, it takes on a whole other meaning later. God himself will give Jacob a new name, Israel.
Right.
It's like foreshadowing. Here we've got Jacob, a guy known for deception, making a huge promise, his name literally etched in stone. Turning point in his story.
He's on the road to a new identity now.
Exactly. But just when you think Jacob can finally relax, remember Esau.
Oh boy, here we go again. The brother he wronged all those years ago.
That's the one. And guess who's coming for a visit?
He's not bringing a fruit basket, is he?
He's bringing a few hundred of his closest friends. Talk about an awkward family reunion.
I'd be terrified.
Jacob was, and for good reason. He knew he messed up big time. And now, time to face the music.
So what does he do?
He panics, splits his camp in two, just in case Esau's out for revenge. And then he starts sending gifts ahead. And we're not talking about a couple of fruit baskets here. We're talking flocks and flocks of animals.
He was pulling out all the stops, trying to smooth things over.
Desperate times. But under all that, you can really sense Jacob's fear. He prays to God for protection, admits his mistakes. It's actually a pretty powerful prayer.
It is. He's really laying it all out there.
He knows he's messed up. But then things get really interesting. That night, while everyone else is asleep, Jacob, he has this crazy encounter.
Wait, what happened?
He ends up wrestling all night long.
With a mysterious man.
Wrestling, like WWE style.
People have been debating that for centuries. Who was this guy? An angel? God himself? We don't know for sure. That's the mystery.
I love that. But even though the guy won't give his name, he does give Jacob a new name. Israel.
Which means?
He who wrestles with God. And then, poof, he vanishes, like something out of a dream. What are we supposed to make of that? It's up to us to decide.
I like that.
Did Jacob finally face his fears that night? Was he wrestling with his own conscience? Or was it truly a divine encounter?
So many questions. And just when you think the story can't get any wilder, we get the long-awaited reunion, Jacob and Esau, face to face, and it's surprisingly chill.
Right, they hug, they cry, Esau forgives him, like it was nothing.
Is that realistic after all these years?
Well, you got to remember, ancient storytelling, it often simplifies stuff. What matters is the big picture.
Yeah.
Reconciliation. It's messy, it's complicated, but it is possible.
Even between brothers who have been through what they went through.
Exactly. So what's the takeaway for our listener today?
Yeah, what have we learned?
We've got these two brothers, once divided by betrayal, now back together. It speaks to that deep human need, right? Forgiveness, healing, second chances. It's something we can all relate to.
It really is.
Jacob's story, it's a wild ride. Family drama, divine encounters, wrestling with angels. You've got it all. It's a story that's kept people talking for thousands of years, and for good reason. And as we've seen today, sometimes the most important truths, you find them in the most unexpected places. Keep asking questions, keep digging deeper, and you never know what amazing things you might discover. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
See you next time.
Welcome to Charlie and Mia's podcast. We're embarking on an exciting journey to read through the entire Bible in just 1 year. Every day, we dive into Scripture, exploring its meanings and how it applies to our lives today. We invite you to join us on this incredible adventure of learning and discovery. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode.